Hey everybody, it's me Jill and welcome to Jill Informed. This is the recap of The Real Housewives of Orange County, Season 15, Episode 6, The Vow Renewal. I thought that the vow renewal was going to be the big finale. And even though this is a shorter season, I do think I heard that there's going to be 12 episodes. So unless we're ending things right now, and I don't think we are, we're having the vow renewal. Actually, you guys, I'm happy that it's happening now because it's not like I wanted the vow renewal to be what this whole season was about. It's just that up until now, that's what it seems like. So that's good. I'm glad we're going to renew our vows and move on. Maybe the second half of the season will be more entertaining. It won't. I think the second half is what's going to be troubling in terms of Kelly and coronavirus. So we'll just have to see how it goes. Anyway, let's get into this episode. Okay, I'm sorry I wanted to get into it because apparently we are opening up with Kelly and Rick in bed. Are we about to have a love scene? Because I need some warning. This feels unfair. You cannot just bring this on us. I will say this. I think he's nicer than I thought he was going to be. Like, he loves her. He wants to take care of her. He wants to do things for her. I think it was last week when she was pointing out all of the things she gets him to do. Like, he cleans the toilets and he puts up shelves and he's like handy around the house and he seems like a very willing little TaskRabbit. So, I mean, she might have a good thing going there with him. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think this might be a little bit of a turning point for the franchise because now, when's the last time you saw the actual news on a Housewives show? But we're cutting to talking about this new coronavirus and that right now the government is saying it's under control and it's not that big of a deal. And God, you guys, I'm getting PTSD from watching these things go back in time. I don't think I like when shows are going back to the very beginning of coronavirus. This Is Us did it, and The Good Doctor did it. I watched both of those shows, and I don't want to live through it again. Knowing where we are right now and hearing the news say there's 11 cases, we think it's under control, it's not going to be a big deal. It's just hard to watch. For me, anyway. The next scene is Gina and Emily working out together. They're talking a little bit about the trial. I guess it is kind of a trial with Matt. And Emily asked Gina, "Are you going to testify?" And she said, I don't know. I really don't want to rock the boat because things are really good right now. Emily said, "Because you don't want to get him mad?" And she's like, "Well, because of the kids and everything." So Emily, I love how Emily handled this because I think that inside Emily wanted to scream, "Who cares what Matt thinks? Don't let Matt control what you're doing right now. Do not be afraid that he's going to get mad or how is he going to react to something, But she was super diplomatic about it and also very kind of gentle in her approach. And she said, "Well, I think you should do it because this is your chance to tell your side of things and to let him know how you feel." Gina goes, "Will you come with me?" And Emily said, "Of course I will." So yeah, I hope she does it. The next scene is with Elizabeth and Bronwyn. Bronwyn comes over to Elizabeth's and now they're going bike riding and then they're just, hanging out in a park talking. This conversation is kind of interesting to me. Because, of course, they talk about Shannon's party and Bronwyn apologizes for her behavior. And she's like, "I didn't want to even tell people. I don't think I was ready to tell people I was an alcoholic yet. But, just came out." And then Elizabeth says, "Your behavior reminded me of my sister. And so I knew something was going on." Although she did say to Sean, she's not really an alcoholic, is she? So she's saying she knew something was wrong now. I'm not so sure about that. In any case, Bronwyn said, "I thought Shannon and I were friends, but, I guess not. because she had told Shannon that tequila was her trigger. She said, and then I got there and Shannon having this tequila tasting thing. And then, I talked to you guys about how crappy it was the way Shannon was like, oh, do you guys drink tequila? Oh, no. Okay, are you a tequila drinker? Like, first of all, you were kind of outing her in front of Elizabeth, And secondly, maybe you don't kind of shove that you're having a tequila tasting in her face. Bronwyn took it to be kind of a slap in the face. Like, yeah, you're telling me tequila is a trigger, and I'm telling you I don't care. I don't know if it was that. I don't know if it was her being thoughtless or selfish. I'm not sure. But Bronwyn now says that it's clear to me that Shannon isn't a friend. You learn who your friends are at a time like this. And Elizabeth said, yeah, I used to have a lot of friends when I was married to my husband, and we would take them on private jets and we would go to exotic places and we would travel. I paid for everything and I would take all my girls places, and we see some pictures of her with a bunch of girls. Everyone's face is blurred out because Elizabeth tells us that after the divorce, none of them stuck with her. I find that super hard to believe, but people will disappoint you. So then Elizabeth asks her, how about your mom? Has she been helping you through this at all? Oh, God. Elizabeth, do you really not watch this show? So you're wondering if Bronwyn's mother, the woman who outed Bronwyn to Tamra, is supportive? Not so much, as it turns out. Bronwyn said, no, I haven't really talked to her much, but so Bronwyn kind of sets her straight about Dr. Deb, but she is coming to the vow renewal. That'll be fun. Okay, the next scene is a dinner. It's a triple date with Elizabeth and Jimmy, Shannon and John, and Gina and Travis. Gina says she's happy that she has a man now and that she can go on these dates with bringing her guy. I know some of you have said in the comments that you wish Gina would have found herself on her own first and not jumped into another relationship. I tend to agree with that. However, I think Travis seems like a decent guy, and I think she could use a little support. So I'm not exactly hating on it, but I too wish that she would have given herself the time to discover that she was strong enough on her own. Anyway, everything starts off great. They're having fun. Everyone's laughing. Shannon said, guess what we did today? Stockpiled. Shannon storms Bedore is the reason why none of us could buy toilet paper. They're laughing and joking about it. Shannon said, do you know that on Amazon you cannot buy hand sanitizer or wipes? It's still hard to find wipes. But of course, it's just they're lightheartedly joking about it at this point. Gina goes, yeah, because you bought it all. And everybody's laughing, and I get it. Nobody knew at the very beginning of this whole thing. I don't know if you guys who have been with me for a long time might remember that I had gone to Texas with my husband on a business trip. I tagged along and I was filming from the hotel room. And by the time I had edited and gotten these videos out, we were already back home. We cut our trip short. Things were escalating super fast. This was like mid-March. It went from, is this a thing, to this is a thing. And it was getting scary. I was so uncomfortable not being at home. So we cut the trip short. We came home, and those videos came out later. And I know a couple of you guys were like, what the hell are you doing in a hotel room right now, Jill? Like, believe me, I get it. So in a way, I understand why they're like making light of it, because we didn't know what was about to happen. That's why this look back is like, gives me anxiety. I do not like this part. But like I said, it's all lighthearted and fun. And then Shannon said, so Gina here went to an AA meeting with Bronwyn. How did that go? And it's like the air was sucked out of the room. Gina gets super emotional. And I think I was right, because I do think those two made a connection. And so Gina is actually getting teary-eyed. She is speaking in defense of Bronwyn. Elizabeth is happy to hear it went so well, because Elizabeth also has all this compassion for Bronwyn, right? Shannon Oh, she did not expect the conversation to take this turn. She's not liking it at all. Gina's defending her. Elizabeth is defending her. Gina said something like she was using anger toward others, which was, she realizes was just anger she was feeling about herself, not being able to get control of this disease. She apologized to me about it. And she said I shouldn't have, I was like where her anger was directed toward me and you, Shannon. And Shannon goes, she didn't apologize to me. Well, that's not how it was this morning. And she's still maintaining that I said things that I didn't say. I see what's going on here. I think Shannon has crossed over into believing her own lie because she can't be wrong. So the fact that Bronwyn's not going along with it is just, it's pissing her off. She can't control Bronwyn. And she's got a lot of anger. Shannon does. Elizabeth brings up that she thinks that Sean is an enabler. A lot of diagnosing going on here. But next we are with Kelly, and she is meeting with her positive beverage team. They're going over the numbers. So I guess things are going really well. They're in Targets everywhere now. And she goes, yeah, so take that, haters. They did, however, lose $100,000 because Expo West canceled because of COVID. Yeah, that was, I guess it's like a trade show. And they had a booth there last year and they did so well. And so they had everything for the booth. And I don't know what the $100,000 was. I don't think it was a down payment because if the place canceled, I think the vendors would have gotten their money back. But this might have been just money they put into, I don't know, the booth itself, marketing, things like that they can't recoup. So yeah, not great. And then she brings up to her partner that Shannon told her she was creating her own line of water. And she's like, can you believe it? I can't believe she would do that. And her partner, what's his name? Ryan, I think. He's like, everyone thinks it's so easy. Starting a water company is the hardest thing ever. So they're kind of pissed off at Shannon right now. Okay, the next scene is with Bronwyn and Dr. Deb. Bronwyn and her family have come a day early to stay with Dr. Deb. Does she live in Palm Springs? I don't know, maybe. Bronwyn and her mom hug and they sit down to talk. It's awkward. Bronwyn tells her that, I think she said Gina's coming to the vow renewal. And Deb's like, oh, yeah, that's good. She never really got to, I don't think she cares about me. Like, she never really got to know me. What? Look, I know this is like classic narcissistic personality disorder or whatever, but why should your daughter's friend take an interest in you? I think it's weird that the others have. I think it's super weird that you and Tamra are talking. I don't know. But Gina's like 36 years old. Why would you want her to call you up too and tell you stories about Bronwyn? I don't know. And also, I think it's very telling that she made it about her. After her daughter is telling her how supportive Gina is being, then she has to go and say something, I guess, sort of negative about Gina. Strange woman for many reasons. So then Bronwyn said something about, I don't know, I feel like I'm losing a lot of my friends here with being sober. Dr. Deb, well, you're not as much fun anymore. Okay, now she does, in a very clumsy way, try to say, I'm saying that's probably what your friends are thinking. Okay, not sure I buy that. Okay, the next scene is people starting to arrive at Shannon's house, and I guess they're all going to ride to Palm Springs together. So Kelly's the first to arrive, and Kelly, oddly enough, is the one that keeps talking about coronavirus the most, I think. So for somebody who doesn't even believe in it, she sure was talking about it a lot early on, but she asked Shannon if she was getting worried about it, and Shannon said, I'm starting to worry. I am not going to be a fucking statistic for coronavirus. Except you will end up being a fucking statistic for fucking coronavirus, Shannon. I don't know why, and I'm not going to pass judgment on why she got it, if she wasn't being careful, or maybe she was and her kids weren't. I'm truly not going to pass judgment on that, but I am going to pass judgment on the stockpiling. And I do remember thinking to myself, the only way this works is if Everybody has access to the disinfectants that they need. You sitting at the top of the hill with all the sanitizing wipes only works if you never leave your home. All right, so Elizabeth, Gina, Emily, and Shane are also joining Shannon and Kelly. They are all getting a van together and they're all heading to Palm Springs. Shannon's boyfriend, John, and all the kids are coming later because John had a meeting to go to first. Travis is working, so he's not coming at all. Rick isn't coming, and Jimmy is meeting them up there too. They're in the van talking about stuff, talking about alcohol. Is there going to be any alcohol there? There is going to be alcohol, but Kelly's mad because there's not going to be tequila, because tequila is the one alcohol that triggers Bronwyn. Well, Kelly thinks that's stupid. I'm not going to have any cake at my birthday party because I'm diabetic. I mean, maybe you wouldn't have a cake if you were diabetic. Maybe you would have some alternative form of dessert or it's one type of alcohol, Kelly. Come on, man. Pull yourself together. I know you can do this. A lot of random stuff is going on. Elizabeth is like, oh, shoot. I accidentally liked one of my ex-husband's Instagram pictures. So everyone's like, how do you accidentally? And she was touching it and she touched it twice. And then so we're cutting back and forth between all of them in the van and Bronwyn, who is at the hotel and she's getting ready for the day. Her best friend, Shari, is there. And Shari was the one who was there for her, who recognized that she was an alcoholic even before Sean, because then Sean said, oh no, she doesn't have a problem. I mean, maybe Sean really is kind of bad with this enabling thing. I don't know. But Bronwyn credits this Shari for just being a true friend and being there for her. Back to the van, Gina said about Elizabeth, for someone who can't talk about her divorce at all, that's all she talks about. Shannon said that she wished that David would return her texts because she's trying to be good co-parent with him, but he won't even communicate with her at all. Emily asked her, have you ever met his fiance? And she said, no, I haven't met her. Something about pictures of her on Instagram. And Shannon said, I don't even look. I don't know. Then Emily brings up how Shannon has blocked her on Instagram still. And Shane's like, yeah, she checks every day. And they're laughing about that. So Shannon's like, well, all right, I'm going to unblock you right now. And so she does it. In Emily's confessional, she's like, I feel like there should be like streamers falling from the sky. And because Kelly is a big baby, they stop at a liquor store to buy tequila. A bottle for Shannon, a bottle for her. All right, so they get to the Parker Hotel. It's very nice. They find their rooms. They see Bronwyn. Shannon's like, well, I had the decency to have them bring my tequila straight to my room and not flaunt it in front of Bronwyn, but not Kelly. Kelly's holding the box under her arm and she's like, oh, I have tequila here. I know we're not supposed to have it, but... And Bronwyn's like, that's fine. It's okay. But it's not okay, Kelly. What the hell? I will say this. The one really cute thing is that when Gina saw Bronwyn, they hugged and Bronwyn's like, I missed you. I miss you. And Gina goes, yeah, I miss you too. And they really meant it. And I love it. Although one of you guys have already told me that in real life, none of the ladies follow Bronwyn anymore. So I don't know what happened with Gina. I don't want to think about that just yet because right now things are really good. So now I guess everyone has retreated to their rooms and they're having like room service bring lunch. We are in Emily and Shane's room. And this is just a little scene, but it was funny to me. Shane's trying to open those little jars of like ketchup and mustard. And he can't get it open and he gives it to Emily and she opens it. And he's like, you're faking the arthritis. Which I don't know why that struck me as so funny. So he goes, well, here, you open this one and that one too then. So Gina comes in the room to have lunch with them. And they start talking about how insensitive Kelly is being. No surprise there. And how confusing Elizabeth is being. So Elizabeth also, I guess, vowed to be supportive to Bronwyn, but she's, I guess, drinking too, and they are confused by that because I don't know if you guys remember, Gina said, I'm not going to drink while I'm there in solidarity. Also, I guess Elizabeth talked about wanting to freeze her eggs, but Jimmy doesn't want kids. And so they're like, she talks about Jimmy like he's her boyfriend, but is she wanting to have kids with him? Is she not? Shane said that he definitely doesn't want to have kids because when the guys were talking at Shannon's party, he was like, yeah, no, I'm not really so much into that, having kids. So I don't know. It's all weird. The whole Jimmy thing is weird. Okay, so the next morning, Bronwyn is getting all ready. She's in her dress. You guys, she looks beautiful. I don't know if it's because she's not drunk. I don't know what it is, but the dress, I don't think it was one of the ones that she tried on at that store when she was with Kelly, but she just looks so pretty. And then we cut to like Shannon in her room and she's completely neurotic and drinking too much. She's running around. Did you get this? What about that? Well, who has this? And her kids are like, Mom, calm down. And then as they're walking out the door, she has to take one more sip of her drink. And they're walking out and one of her daughters said, Mom, don't trip. So something is going on with Shannon. And I don't think it's just that she's not getting along with Bronwyn right now. It might be a drinking issue. Why not? Everybody else has a drinking problem. So all the guests are there now. Kelly is there with Zach, her positive beverage partner. I don't know, that was weird. In her confessional, she goes, Zach is like my second gay husband, so I was glad he was there with me. Your second gay husband? Is Rick your first gay husband? Anyway, the two of them go over and approach Shannon, and Zach is all ready for a fight, because before that, he's like, Shannon looks like a mortician. She made a comment about her whole family was dressed in black. But anyway, so they go over there. Kelly introduces Shannon to Zach and she said, this is Shannon. Shannon, tell him about your new water line. And Shannon's like, what are you talking about, Kelly? She goes, I don't have a new water line. It's a tincture, like a supplement. That's all. It's a little bottle. Kelly goes, oh. She got it wrong. But then when Shannon leaves, Kelly turns to Zach and she goes, I know she said that. I'm not lying. I heard her. Then we see a flashback of Shannon telling Kelly about her new tincture. And in another scene, she goes, yeah, it's going to be like a tincture. You just add it to whatever your beverage is, and it's got vitamins in it, and it's got antioxidants and stuff. Whatever. It's a tincture. It is not a water. And she said it several times. And then we even have Kelly in her confessional go, what is a tincture? Why does she keep saying tincture? It sounds like sphincter. So, because Kelly didn't know what a tincture was, she just thought it was a beverage. I know that's what happened. Oh, okay. It's because it's called lemonade. So now Shannon goes up to John. Poor John. This is not the last time I'm going to be saying poor John either. She goes up to John and she goes, Kelly brought her business partner up to me and she told him I was starting a water line because of lemonade. She's acting like I'm trying to go after her. I would never do that. Then in her confessional, I'm an ethical person who has morals. All right, well, hold up. Kelly Dodd is not the only person who has a water company. It doesn't make her unethical because she started Positive Beverage, because LaCroix already existed or something. I mean, that's the way it goes. But Shannon is now acting like she would never, because Kelly has water, Shannon would never, ever, ever do a line of water. But she is bent out of shape about this accusation of Kelly's. Also, side note, this is the worst confessional yet. It isn't just about the lighting and the harsh makeup. The sound quality, it sounds like she's speaking into a tin can. It's really bad. All right, so the ceremony is about to begin. They have Babette Schwartz as the officiant. Babette is a drag queen, has been doing this for 30 years or something. And the one thing they didn't brief Babette on was that Bronwyn is currently an alcoholic. So Babette opens the show with, we're going to have fun tonight. I think some of you are a couple cocktails in, and the rest of us need to get caught up. Oh, girl. Not good. So, good news, bad news. The good news is Bronwyn says some nice things about Sean and gives him a gift. The bad news is the gift is another statement necklace, which he immediately puts on. Sean has a gift for Bronwyn too, and it is a ring with the birthstones of all their children, which was a nicer gift, although it might not have fit because she was kind of trying to jam it on her finger. Then the officiant asks if the kids would like to say something, and things go off the rails a bit with Jacob. Jacob's got a unique sense of humor, I guess you could say. He says, "Dad, do you vow to always love Mom, even when she embezzles all of your money and runs away in an Apache helicopter at 12 a.m.? Sean's like, if I can find her, yes. Then Jacob says, "And Mom, do you vow to always love Dad, even when he gets really famous one day and bounces off with a 12-year-old American model?" Oh, Jacob, sweet, sweet boy. What the hell? There are so many things wrong with that. I don't know where to begin. Anyway, the day is saved by Bella, their oldest child, who just says something very, very sweet about her parents always being the example of love that she hopes to find one day. So, okay. Literally, the second that Sean and Bronwyn kiss and then walk down the aisle, Shannon turns to John and says, "I have to talk to Gina about something." And John's like, "You need to what?" Yeah. So she finds Gina, who's sitting next to Emily, and she goes, "Hey, Gina, I don't know when I told Kelly, but you know how I've been working on my food line? Well, I've also been working on a supplement for a year now. Well, Kelly came up to me earlier and said, 'Sal, did you tell Zach about your new water line?' I was like, 'Are you fucking kidding me?' She's so upset. 'Get your facts straight, Kelly. I would never do that. It's a tincture.' Emily's like, 'Those are two totally different things.' 'Thanks, Emily. We know.' The problem is Kelly doesn't know. Kelly doesn't know what a tincture is. Well, at that, Kelly comes over, sits down with them. 'Hey, what's going on over here?' And that is where this episode ends. Yeah, I guess we'll have to wait until next week for the big confrontation. Oh boy. Well, I didn't think we would go from vow renewal to tincture, but here we are. Thank you guys for being here. If you haven't, please subscribe to my channel, give this video a thumbs up, and leave a comment down below. I always want to know what you guys think. For those of you who celebrate Thanksgiving, have a wonderful Thanksgiving tomorrow. I know it's going to be a little bit tough. Many of us are not going to be with our families. For me this year, it is just going to be my husband and myself. But you know what? We can get through this. We just have to keep doing the right thing, being safe, and we will get through it. So big hugs to all of you guys, and I will see you next week with the next recap of The Real Housewives of Orange County. Bye.